Pixel 8a is right around the corner, and we can see what it looks like now. So if you want to have a first look, here you go. Here's what it looks like. Pretty much just like the Pixel 7, 7a. Anyway, so it's got 4 different colors that we've seen that are leaked here. We've got the blue, the black, the white, the green. So it's kind of like some colors we have now. It's just they are a little bit more saturated, a little bit more colorful, and well, yeah, that's pretty much what you get with the colors. But I have a lot of thoughts on the Pixel 8a because I think you probably shouldn't buy it. And I'm probably going to offend some people, but hear me out on this because the Pixel 8, well, it's been on sale quite a bit for about $499 recently, and here's the thing. The rumors on the street are that the Pixel 8a might be $559, even if it comes in at $499, which, like, that was the price last year, I believe, of the Pixel 7a. It's not going to be a good value because the Pixel 8, you could already buy it for basically the same price. The sales are going to end. Like, you're probably not going to see a whole lot of sales on the Pixel 8 until probably June again sometime. Why? Because they're going to want to sell this phone and they want you to seem like it's a good deal because the Pixel 8 is $699. I was just looking around. The sales are gone. It's back to full price, $699 on Amazon, $699 Best Buy, Google, all that stuff. Well, what's going to happen is they're going to come out with the Pixel 8a and then it's going to be like $500, $550. You'll be like, oh, that's a good deal until you think about the fact that the Pixel 8 was just $499 just like a week ago. So I'm going to tell you the same thing that I told you last year. Don't buy the A series. Like, don't buy it. I said it was a terrible phone last year, and basically what happens with the A series is it's a dumbed down version. Like, we have the 8 already, Tensor G3, all that great stuff. Well, what's going to happen is the Pixel 8a is, of course, going to have the Tensor G3. That's what they do. They wait until later on in the year, and then they come out with the cheaper budget version of the phone, but you're going to get a budget version of the camera. You're going to get probably a slower refresh rate. It was 90 hertz instead of 120 hertz. It's going to have probably slower charging. It'll have probably IP67 instead of IP68. There are a lot of corners that they cut. So the corners that they cut definitely aren't anywhere near as good as what you're going to get with the Pixel 8, but I guarantee you, probably by middle of June or July, you're going to have the Pixel 8 back on sale for $499. If you want to buy the A series, if you just really, really want to buy it, wait till later in the year because they'll drop the price on that later in the year, and then it'll end up being like $400. I'm fairly certain the Pixel 8a will be $399 by the time we get around to the holidays. So they'll drop the prices on the phones, and then they'll seem like a good deal again. But the thing is, $550 for a Pixel 8a is not going to be a good deal. And we've already seen the limitations we've had with the Pixel 8. Speaking of limitations, the hardware limitations, like it can't even run some of the Google AI model stuff on the phone. They're saying that with the developer options, you can enable it. It'll have less of an experience. It should be available, I think, around May 15th. But yeah, there are limitations with this. It's going to have 8 gigabytes of RAM. There will be sacrifices with this phone. And I don't normally mind those sacrifices if it's $399. But I protested last year saying that they raised the price too much. Same thing as this year. Whenever the Pixel 7a came out last year, you could get the Pixel 7 within $50 of what it cost before that phone went on sale. Why would you buy the A series if the regular one, which is going to be a better phone, is basically going to be the same price again? Like, I don't think there's a whole lot of people sitting around going, man, I'm just waiting for that A series so I can upgrade. But the A series was traditionally a good value. Back when the 3A came out, the 4A was such an amazing phone. Like, it was such a good phone for a long time. And then the 5A, like, it was okay. But and the 6A was such a great value. And it was pretty darn cheap because people didn't have a lot of faith in the Tensor 1. There was a lot of problems when that phone first came out. So there was a lot of reasons to buy a 6A before. But then the 7A, they bumped the price up. And really all they did was just cheapen and dumb down a bunch of features that, well, really there just wasn't a lot of room to dumb them down in the first place. Google already doesn't use the top-end hardware that you would expect in like a Samsung or an Apple phone. So when you take a look at the 8A, yeah, you got these cool, more vibrant colors, more appealing, I guess, if you're interested in that stuff. But yeah, it's going to be at least $500, and it may very well be $559, $569. And if that's the case, it's going to be more expensive than what the 8 was already on sale for just like a week or two ago. So that tells you they're going to price it higher, and then they'll have some sort of incentive. Maybe they'll give you a Pixel Watch with it. I don't know. I don't know what the deals are going to be, but I fairly expect that as soon as we get done with the Google I/O announcement, which is their big developer conference, I believe it's May 10th, it'll probably launch. That's what happened last year. It just showed up. There wasn't like, hey, by the way, there's a pre-order period, or hey, by the way, you'll be able to get this in a few weeks. Google I/O was there. It happened. They're like, hey, here's the Pixel 7a. By the way, you can go buy it now. I went right down to Best Buy and I bought one right as soon as the event ended. So it's really interesting the way that they're doing this. And they're pricing their phones out of their own price range, and then they're scalping their own sales with weird sales. So the phone, the Pixel 8, Pixel 8 Pro, they're not even that old. They came out in October. So November, December, January, February, March, April. Like, we're 6 months into this, and you can already get the phone substantially cheaper for the last couple of months. They've been running a lot of sales. They had like $200 off of this. You could get it for $499. They had $250 off of the Pixel 8 Pro. You could get it for $749 here recently. So when you take a look at the fact that you could get the Pixel 8 for $499, and then they're going to turn around and they're going to keep the prices a little bit higher for about a month, just so the Pixel 8a looks like a better deal. They're like, oh, it's the cheapest Pixel you can buy. Well, except for the fact that it's a dumbed down version of the 8, and you'll be able to get the 8 probably a month later back at $499 again. So if you want the A, I'm not saying don't buy it, but wait until later in the year. I guarantee you in a few months this thing is probably not going to sell well, and then you'll be able to get it for probably $400. And at $400 is probably an okay deal. But even still, though, if you have the opportunity to get a Pixel 8 for $499 and a Pixel 8a for like $399, I would probably still go with the 8. But I'm sure it's probably going to have 7 years of support. It'll be interesting to see a budget model Pixel phone if they go ahead and support it for 7 years. But that would also be another interesting thing. Maybe they paywall the 7 years of support behind the more expensive phone. Maybe the A series, they still only give 3 years of operating system updates, 5 years of security patches. I don't know. If they do support it for 7 years, that'll be an interesting proposition. I can only imagine that they probably will dumb down a lot of those same features. We may have a 90 hertz refresh rate. It'll probably have slower charging, slower wireless charging. It'll probably have IP67 rating, and it'll probably not have the same series camera. My guess is that the Pixel 8a will have the same cheaper, not so good sensor that we got in the 7a. But I do want to say something though. The camera in the Pixel 7a was surprisingly good. Like, it was surprisingly good, even though it was a different sensor, and they use a cropped version of that sensor. So they had I think they cropped it to 48 for the Pixel Fold. Either way, it's basically the same camera that's in both phones. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. But my thought process, okay, wait for it to go on sale a little bit later. Buy the Pixel 8 if you can find it at $499. It's going to be a lot better phone. I just don't see the point in the A series anymore. I really don't. It was a great thing back when it was $399, $349, $449. Like, there was some decent value to be had there because the overall price of phones was higher. Now we've had this revolution in the mid-tier sector. Heck, I would say probably the Think phone. It might still be $399. I got to look and see. I haven't looked at it lately, but there have been a lot of phones that are a lot more compelling with a lot more power and a lot more capabilities at that price point and cheaper than what the A series is. That wasn't the case before. When you look back at the 4A, when you look back at the 5A, the 6A, the $300, $400 price range was some pretty crap phones. Like, they were not that great. So they looked like good deals. They were supported, and you had the great camera system and stuff like that. So historically, the A series was a good value. But the last 2 or 3 years, especially the last 2 years, last year the 7A was a terrible phone for the price. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the matter. I know I'm going to upset some people who are diehard Pixel fans. Look, I believe in value. I believe in consumer. I believe in making sure that y'all get the best for your money. I am not beholden to any brand. So if I see fouls, I call fouls. I mean, balls and strikes. I try and keep it pretty even with this stuff. So it's not that I don't like Google. It's not like I don't like the Pixel phones. But what they're doing is just not offering, I think, a good value to the consumer. Their price strategies are trying to make it seem like it'll be a good deal, but in reality, Yeah, I think the 8 is going to be a lot better deal for most folks, and I guarantee you it'll be back on sale again soon. So that's all I got. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you enjoyed the commentary, getting to see the first look with the colors and all that stuff. Let me know if you're interested. Let me know what your thoughts are. Like, I want to have some discussion on this. Do you think the A series is still a good deal? If it comes in at 500, 550 bucks, do you think it's a bad deal and that Google is selling us a not so good phone for that price? Or do you think it still has value even in 2024? So that's all I got. If you have any questions or comments, please go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.